How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the 2019 NBA semifinals in progress, everybody got their eyes on the Houston Golden State series. Can go down as one of the best semifinals matchups in NBA playoff history. Throughout the early 2000s, the Lakers and Spurs played in the postseason in the second round every year from 02 to 04, but none of those series ever won 7 games. Toronto just annihilated Philly in Game 1, Boston blew out Milwaukee, even Portland and Denver might go 7 games. Every one of these matchups this year can go 7. But with that said, here are 8 of the best semifinals matchups in NBA playoff history.
Number 8, Cavs Celtics 2008. In one of the most memorable duels of the 2000s between Paul Pierce and 23-year-old LeBron James, Boston was coming off a 7-game series with the 8-seeded Hawks. Cleveland knocked off Washington in 6. The first 2 games were extremely ugly for LeBron, led by the Celtics' suffocating defense. Both teams struggled to score. It was Kevin Garnett who set the tone all of Game 1, while LeBron had one of his worst playoff games, shot an abysmal 2 of 18 from the field, was held to just 12 points, while Paul Pierce and Ray Allen were both awful, scored a pathetic 4 combined points on 2 of 18 shooting. LeBron had a chance to tie the game at the end, but missed a point-blank layup, just couldn't buy a basket. After Boston won the first 2, Cleveland responded in games 3 and 4, highlighted by James's insane dunk in game 4. But in game 5, Boston took control of the third quarter, escaped with a 7-point win. Rondo, Pierce, KG all had 20 plus, LeBron dropped 35. Game 6 was an absolute defensive clinic for the Cavs, edged out Boston 74-69. While Game 7 was a duel for the ages, LeBron kept his team close, doing everything he could, put up 45 points, but Pierce responded with 41 of his own, made all the winning plays at the end, especially his hustle. Boston escaped with a hard-fought 97-92 victory, would go on to beat the Pistons and Lakers, capturing the franchise's first championship in 22 years. Number 7, 2000, in the 2 vs 3 matchup, the Knicks and Heat were one of the most epic rivalries in the late 90s and early 2000s. With plenty of bad blood and insane fights, the two teams met for a 4th straight postseason. Miami won the first in 97, New York won in 98 and 99. All the anger and hate started after Pat Riley left the Big Apple in summer of 95, becoming New York's #1 public enemy. As intense and heated a series there was, Miami came back in 97, down 3 games to 1. Won Game 7 by 11 points. New York won in 5 in the first round of 98, followed by Allen Houston's game winner in 99, where the Knicks became the second 8 seed to knock off a #1. In 2000, every one of those games were competitive, decided by no more than 8 points in any game. The 2000 Knicks team had a healthy but aging 37-year-old Patrick Ewing, who had a huge dunk the final minute of Game 7, averaged 14.5 points, 11 rebounds for the series. New York escaped with an 83-82 Game 7 win in Miami, with the Heat blowing an early lead. They also blew a 15-point halftime lead in Game 6, where the Knicks escaped with an ugly 72-70 win. Anthony Carter missed the go-ahead 3 at the buzzer. While Carter did win Game 3 with the running floater with 2.2 seconds left, the lasting image of this rivalry left the most painful ending in Miami Heat franchise history. Clarence Weatherspoon, who missed the mid-range jumper, as heartbreaking and brutal as it got, to lose in the final seconds and back-to-back years, decided by the final game of the series against the same team you hate, something the players will never forget. One heck of a series Knicks and Heat fans will also never forget. Number 6, Rockets Sonics 1997, a showdown between the 2 and 3 seed. The last 2 defending Western Conference champs both won 57 games apiece in the regular season. Houston won the regular season series 3 games to 1, gaining home court advantage. It was Charles Barkley's first year in Houston, was 34 years old, the same age as Drexler and Olajuwon, against a prime Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp. Only the first game was decided by double digits, a 10-point Houston win, but every other game after was decided by 2 possessions or less. Seattle forced the Game 7, winning Games 5 and 6. The final game was close throughout. Houston had a 3-point lead in the final minute and a half before Matt Maloney nailed a clutch 3 with a minute 17 left. The Sonics had a chance down 3 with 15 seconds left, but Shawn Kemp jacked up a wild shot in the corner, hit nothing but air. Houston survived the 96-91 win. The trio of Olajuwon, Drexler, and Barkley averaged a combined 60.9 points for the series, but they would go on to lose to Utah in 6 in the conference finals. Bucks Celtics 1987. Milwaukee was one of the most forgotten good teams of the 80s. That's cause Boston always stood in their way, and they were moved to the Eastern Conference where the many good teams in the West weakened. Before the series, everyone thought the Celtics and Lakers had cakewalks to the finals, but not Boston in 87. In a 1-4 matchup, the C's won the first 2 games since the magnificent Larry Bird dropped 40 points in Game 1, 30 in Game 2. Milwaukee won Game 3, 126-121, led by John Lucas's 30 points and Ricky Pierce, who dropped 29 off the bench. Boston prevailed in Game 4, 138-137 in double overtime, while Bird and MacLeod played 56 of the possible 58 minutes. MacLeod was dealing with a sprained ankle and stress fracture, was in excruciating pain. Bird ended up with 42 in Game 4. In Game 5, the Bucks shockingly ended Boston's 14-game home playoff streak with a 129-124 win led by Sidney Moncrief's 33 points. Robert Parrish sprained his left ankle that game and had to come out heading into the 4th. The Bucks also won Game 6, 121-111, tying the series at 3 games apiece. With a tired Larry Bird going 0-4 in the 4th, Parrish sat out the entire game. Moncrief led Milwaukee with 34. With Boston in danger of blowing a 3-1 lead, the Bucks led 36-29 after the first period of Game 7. Up 1 after 3, Danny Ainge suffered an injury and wouldn't return, but Bird and MacLeod would not let their teams down. Down 108-100, with less than 6 minutes left, MacLeod responded with a 3-point play. The Bucks were held scoreless the last 3 minutes thanks to Boston's terrific defense. Bird finished with 31 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. MacLeod had 26 points, 15 rebounds. Parrish had 23 and 19, along with 11 big offensive rebounds, leading to a 119-113 Celtics win. Number 4, the following year, 1988, Atlanta against these same Celtics. In a 1-4 matchup, this series would go down as the greatest 2-man battle in playoff history. Boston won the first 2, but the Hawks won the next 3. Stole Game 5 on the road in Boston, led by Kevin Willis's 27 points, 14 rebounds. Wilkins dropped 35 in Game 6, had a chance to close out the series, but Atlanta came up short, giving Boston a 102-100 win. Wilkins was at the prime of his career at 28 years old, had something to prove, came out on fire in Game 7, but Bird matched his intensity. The whole game was a shooting match. Each time one of these 2 guys scored, the other one almost immediately responded. An absolute clinic. Both bench cheered heavily for their player, a matchup that's still talked about 31 years later. Bird dropped 20 of his 34 points in the 4th. Wilkins had 14 of his 47 in the final period. Boston survived a 118-116 win, but both players were absolutely sensational. Number 3, Rockets Suns 1995. In a 2-6 matchup, Houston knocked off a 60-win Jazz team in the first round. But right off the bat, Phoenix took an easy 2-0 series lead, winning the first 2 games by a combined 46 points. Houston responded in Game 3, but Kevin Johnson exploded for 43 in Game 4, up 3-1. Hakeem responded with 31 of his own in Game 5 in an elimination game, but Phoenix had a chance to ice the game up 92-90, but Barkley missed a clutch free throw. Wesley Person missed the game-winning 3 at the buzzer, which would have given Phoenix the series. Kenny Smith had 21 for Houston, Mario Elie 15. Houston easily won Game 6 after. In a classic Game 7, Phoenix led 26-13 after 1, but the Rockets had an unshakable confidence. Sam Cassell had 18 big points off the bench. Drexler and Olajuwon each scored 29. With Dream coming up huge down the stretch, was the go-to guy for Houston. Kevin Johnson, on the other hand, went off for 46 points, 10 assists, did everything he could. But it was Mario Elie who knocked down the go-ahead clutch 3, giving Houston a 113-110 lead with 7 seconds left. Blew a kiss, remember, as the kiss of death, but Phoenix still had a chance down 1. Houston inbounded the ball half court. Danny Ainge stole the ball, jacked up a Hail Mary. The Rockets survived with an incredible 115-114 win on the road, coming back from a 3-1 deficit, would go on to beat the Spurs and Magic, winning back-to-back championships. Number 2, Pacers Knicks 1995. In a rematch of an epic 7-game conference finals matchup from the previous year, it was a showdown between the 2 and 3 seed. The Knicks won by the skin of their teeth in 94, and Game 1 started out with a bang. New York was up 6 with under 19 seconds left, and Reggie Miller nailed the 3. Pacers got the steal, Reggie hit another 3. The game he scored 8 points in 9 seconds. New York fouled Reggie, resulting in a 107-105 win for the Pacers, one of the most shocking endings in NBA history. The rivalry was only increasing. New York lost both games 3 and 4 on the brink of elimination, survived the Game 5 thriller thanks to Patrick Ewing's heroics, nailing the go-ahead jumper with 1.8 seconds remaining, giving the Knicks a 97-96 win, put up 25 and 15 in Game 6 in a 10-point win, forced to Game 7 back at the Mecca. Both Miller and Ewing dropped 29 each for their teams. The Knicks did not play their best basketball until they were desperate. Down 74-59 with 5 minutes left in the third, Derek Harper drained back-to-back threes with the Knicks trailing 81-76 after 3. The Pacers had a 94-87 lead after a Rick Smith jump hook with 3 minutes left. John Starks nailed a corner 3 with over half a minute remaining, cut the deficit to 2 with 5 seconds left. Ewing and the Knicks had one of the most heartbreaking moments in franchise history. Drove all the way to the lane but missed on the finger roll, rimming out at the buzzer. An absolute brutal way to end the series. Every Knicks fan was in disbelief and still remembers this moment like it was yesterday. And finally, number 1, Dallas San Antonio 2006. The two teams met in the conference finals 3 years before. Both won 60 games, but Dirk got hurt in Game 3, had his season cut short. San Antonio would end up winning the series in 6 and capturing their second championship. But this time, the Spurs won 63 games, Dallas 60, but was the 4th seed, despite having the second best record in their conference since the two teams played in the same division. These were by far the two best teams in the West. The playoff format was later changed because of this series. In a heavyweight Texas showdown, Game 1 was a thriller, with the Spurs winning 87-85, led by Tim Duncan's 31 points. Jerry Stackhouse missed the go-ahead 3 at the buzzer. After a 22-point statement win in Game 2 for the Mavs, Games 3 and 4 were absolute classics. Duncan had 35 and 12, Nowitzki 27 and 15 in Game 3, but in one of the key possessions, Robert Horry tried to hand off the pass to Manu Ginobili in the final seconds, but went off his leg. San Antonio still had a chance, but Horry's desperation shot was off the mark, giving Dallas a 104-103 win, and every big-time player would respond in Game 4. Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili had a combined 100 points, Terry, Nowitzki, and Stackhouse 96 total, and Terry and Finley both responded down the stretch with clutch buckets. Tim Duncan missed the potential game winner, but heading into overtime, the Jet and Dallas took control. Nailed a tough corner rainbow jumper over Duncan. Dallas prevailed 123-118. Back in San Antonio for Game 5, Duncan responded, scored 36 points, survived 98-97 by the skin of their teeth after Terry missed the go-ahead jumper and drew a punch at former teammate Michael Finley. During the final seconds of that game, was suspended for Game 6, which was another grindfest. Manu stepped up with 30 points, Nowitzki had 27 and 21 rebounds, but Finley nailed the clutch 3 with over 2 minutes left. Breaking the tie, San Antonio survived 91-86. And finally, Game 7, where Tim Duncan demolished, destroyed, and abused Eric Dampier in the post in every way imaginable. San Antonio was down 20, but Timmy D carried them all game, had 41 points, 15 rebounds. Parker had 24 points, Ginobili scored 23, including a big 3 to put the Spurs up 3 with 32 seconds left. All the momentum seemed to be going towards San Antonio, but Nowitzki strongly responded after the timeout with the and-one layup coming up huge, tying the game. San Antonio missed an opportunity to win it in regulation, and Dallas would pull off a hard-fought 119-111 overtime victory, a Texas battle for the ages. This series validated Dirk's greatness, who averaged over 27 points, 13 rebounds. Tim Duncan was also sensational, averaged over 32 points, 11 boards in those 7 games. This was as competitive a second round series there was.
Not only was that Dallas-San Antonio matchup in 06 the best second round series I have ever seen, but 2 60-plus win teams going at it in the second round, that might never happen again. Which second round series do you guys think was the best ever? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.